former owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, Donald Sterling's history of discrimination has gone from an inconvenient fact to one of the most well-known stories in American sports. All because of one secretly taped conversation gone public. Could his history of discrimination have gone back further than this lifetime? The 80-year-old lawyer and billionaire real estate investor Sterling was banned by the NBA as a result of a taped phone conversation to his then-girlfriend V. Stiviano in April 2014. The conversation addresses a photo she posted on Instagram in which she posed with Basketball Hall of Fame player Magic Johnson. In the audio recording, Sterling allegedly tells Stiviano, "It bothers me a lot that you want to broadcast that you're associating with black people. The NBA is a league with predominantly black players." Stiviano, 31 years old, was born Maria Vanessa Perez. Recently, she legally changed her name because she says she had not been fully accepted because of my race. On the infamous tapes, she identifies herself as black and Mexican. "You're supposed to be a delicate white or delicate Latina girl," says the voice that is almost definitely Sterling. Responding to him, she says, "You're in love with me, and I'm black and Mexican, whether you like it or not." Given his racial attitude, some would question Sterling's relationship with V. Stiviano is being sued by Sterling's estranged wife, Shelley, for the return of a $1.8 million Los Angeles duplex, as well as a Ferrari, 2 Bentleys, and a Range Rover she said her husband bought for Stiviano. Meanwhile, Stiviano plans to write her story. Donald Sterling was born Donald Tokowitz in Chicago. His family moved to Los Angeles when he was 2. His parents were Ashkenazi Jewish immigrants. Sterling began to make his career as an attorney, building an independent practice when Jews had few opportunities at prestigious law firms. His biggest ventures were in owning real estate in Beverly Hills and in Westwood. In 1981, Sterling bought the Clippers for $12.5 million. At 33 seasons of ownership, Sterling was the longest tenured owner in the NBA. In 1984, Sterling moved the Clippers from San Diego to Los Angeles. Sterling's history of discrimination flared its ugly head when, in 2003, he paid a huge settlement to 18 tenants who cited racial statements such as "black people smell and attract vermin" and "Hispanics just smoke and hang around the building," as well as Sterling's alleged intent to rent only to Korean tenants because they will pay the rent and live in whatever conditions I give them. In 2006 and 2009, Sterling was again sued for housing discrimination for using race as a factor in his rental practices. In February 2009, Sterling was sued by former longtime Clippers executive Elgin Baylor for employment discrimination on the basis of age and race. The lawsuit alleged that Sterling told Baylor that he wanted to fill his team with poor black boys from the South and a white head coach. Baylor referred to Sterling's vision of the Clippers style as a plantation atmosphere. Al Sharpton referred to Sterling's treatment as a platform for bigotry in sports, hearkening back to a pre-Jackie Robinson era. As for sexual harassment lawsuits, Sterling has been sued twice by women who worked for him and once to ward off a palimony suit. So how was Sterling punished for his public discrimination? If he had previously been a past life slave owner, his behavior would have been publicly accepted. Fortunately, these attitudes are no longer acceptable as evidenced by the NBA decision to ban him. Given his racial bigotry, his partial acceptance of his girlfriend V's racial mix is noteworthy. Sporting News, the New York Times, and Forbes describe Sterling as one of the worst owners in sports. He even heckled his own players. His reputation is tarnished. His fall from power will be the stuff of legend. In a new poll, he was voted the most hated man in America, leading Bernie Madoff and O.J. Simpson. Even though he's been a passionate fan and will miss his Clipper family of 33 years, his misdeeds may have been rewarded. Shelley Sterling agreed to sell the Clippers to former Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer for $2 billion. That's 160 times the $12.5 million price Sterling paid for the San Diego Clippers. Sterling contested the sale, but it was denied. At least now, whether Sterling has learned any lessons or not, he was a catalyst for Americans to rise up publicly against racism. This is Dr. Barbara Lane, author of 16 Clues to Your Past Lives, reminding you to learn from the past, live in the present, and create a fulfilling future.